The Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast is dedicated to all things Horus Heresy. This podcast delves into the grimdark universe where Primarchs clash, legions rise, and loyalties fracture faster than a Land Raider's track. But it's not just about the lore of the Horus Heresy. The Accountabilibuddies also explore the gaming side of things, from painting and modeling tips to product reviews and ideas to help you in your hobby. So, whether you're a seasoned Forge World veteran or a fresh-faced scout, this podcast is your Vox channel to the galaxy. Expect discussions on lore, modeling, gaming, and maybe even the shenanigans that your hosts somehow seem to find their way into. Remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there are only two things you can count on: heresy and your trusty Accountabilibuddies.
And welcome to episode 139 of Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. I am stopping any pre-conversations that we have with this, kicking off this, the 139th episode of the podcast. I am Jack, followed by my fellow host of...
Brian.
Duncan.
Jamie.
And John.
Jack. Before we get too far in it, we're going to do a quick station notification.
Do you love resin bases? Then go to our sponsor, Elric Hobbies, for all of your basing and basing accessory needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a discount. Legendary Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies is a one-stop shop for all of your painting needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. Pop Goes the Monkey. Find maker of third-party accessory bits of arms, legs, backpacks, and more, where you can get 10% off your first order over $125 with code HERESYABB at checkout.
Station notification. Thank you to our sponsors and a special thank you to our patrons. Just tonight, we did record, in fact, a Patreon episode. I know, everybody put your pants back on. But before we get too far down the line, let's go over to a quick hobby update. John, what have you done that will not require me to edit it out of this podcast?
Well, there was followed by some, and then I did a lot of, but the best thing I did this week was probably kind of going through some of the stuff that Jamie sent over. So I got Jamie sent a lot of his Broken Titan parts to come over so I can combine them for the next year's Adepticon giveaway table. I got those all moved into storage. Harbor Freight was doing a kind of sale for Labor Day this weekend. So I went over, picked up an HVLP gun, a strainer, a bunch of parts for that. And so that way I'm thinking I can shoot glue through that instead of having to wear my hand out on that stupid little spray bottle that they give you for glue applicators. So I'm going to try that out and see if that works, or if it just clogs up and becomes a piece of $14 trash that it is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got done this week. I didn't really get a lot of actual other hobby stuff done this week because it's been kind of raining off and on and been muggy, so I haven't been able to go outside and seal all the decals I got done over the last few weeks. What about Jamie?
For the people that can actually see us on YouTube, this is what I did this week.
Very shiny, very red, very yellow, very metallic.
It's got a lot of gloss on it right now. It's like, yeah, so it's my Warbringer Titan. Been working on the upper body. I got a lot of the major kind of sub-assembly type paint done. Started working on the Void Shield generators last night. I'm down to details, I'd like to say, on the torso, and I still got a couple parts that I need to base coat and prime, which would be like the AA cannons. The arms are actually all built and magnetized already and base coated, but I haven't seated the, I don't know what you call it, the upper arms into the sockets yet, just because it's easier to paint that way without them on there. So that's literally all I've been working on a couple nights this week, and then I'll work on it a bunch tomorrow because I'm off work. So, how about Duncan?
So This week I have been somewhat productive. I have a Predator that's just about done. I've got all the colors down to it. I haven't sealed it, and I haven't done the decals on it or a final wash on it. And I do still need to work the tracks, but it's pretty much ready for sealing, decals, more sealing, tracks, and weathering. I've got the Vindicator that's pretty much in the exact same spot, and I acquired two more, another Predator and another Vindicator, since my Night Lords are two of each. So yeah, I also got the next character assembled and base painted. Just his blues are down. The rest of it, got the rest of the colors yet, but he's looking pretty good so far. Beyond that, New Recruit has done their update, so I've been able to add the legacy units to my lists that I was planning on adding. So I've got several lists that are finalized, and as we all know, list building is a huge part of everything we all do, and it's a huge part of the hobby. So I did feel good about getting that done as well. And then beyond that, I went ahead and I said, Bri, what have you gotten done this past week?
I played a game with my son who's going to be turning 7 tomorrow. And now he's fully on board the 30K bandwagon. And I've been going through my stuff to see what I can send his way that he can earn by doing chores. I worked a little bit on consolidating some of my units and models that I had started work on, but put them off to the side. I don't think I've touched my Cataphracti Terminator squad that I started doing since the last time we recorded. And the Spartan I was working on is still sitting there partially in the sepia wash stage. I had a problem with my rattle can primer, and I'm giving it extra time to cure before I do anything with it. Other than that, been pretty quiet. How about you, Mr. Jack?
Oh, I have done so much. I bought a cordless hot glue gun from Harbor Freight, and it is divine. I honestly, legitly, don't know how I've done hobby without a cordless hot glue gun. I know that sounds silly, but all the like train and transportation, like all that stuff, like this is Jesus. It's nice. Gets hotter than my corded one. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Would in fact recommend. And
Hold on.
After
what are
that,
you using for hot glue gun for?
Not basing stuff, like attaching stuff to like corks and stuff like that. When I'm airbrushing it, I've used it a lot to put together terrain. I've used it a lot to put together there's not a transportation option for a Stormbird. So putting together a box for that, and it was only like $20. Doesn't come with the battery, but I'm already bought into the Harbor Freight ecosystem, so it was like $20.
Okay.
So it was nice. And then I think after that, is that everybody?
I think that's everybody.
Okay.
I believe that's
So then we kick it over to John for the news.
Yep. You ready to share the screen, Jack?
It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. It's there.
All right. So we had the official release of all the stuff we talked about last week. So the Tyranid terrain is online exclusive. The Cathay cannons are online exclusive, and then the Warriors are going to be normal stock. Also, the White Scar decals that for some reason say Grand Cathay transfer sheet are online exclusives. That was kind of all the new releases. Preview today for release next week is a bunch of Heresy adjacent knights. So since we're covering knights today, I'm going to tell you in advance. All these cool, fancy new Age of Dark Age technology guns are not in the Knight Codex
or the shield generator too,
or the cool shield generator. None of these are in the actual Knight book, so don't bother buying this kit for those. Buy it for all the other parts if you want to build 30k Knights. This last Impulsor thing is, though, on the Knight book, so we might see rules for some of these other guns later. Pretty cool set of Imperial Knight dice in yellow and black, if your house colors are those. The Raven Guard character is finally going to come out, which would be really cool for some conversions. And same with the new resculpted Lysander, which would be really cool to steal for some conversion pieces. And then some Raven Guard and Imperial Fist dice, which would be really cool to see on the Heresy table. That's kind of all the things you can steal for Heresy this time. Not a lot of even Heresy adjacent releases from GW this week. Apart from on Monday, when we finally got a Militia PDF. Yay. 57 pages of rules. I already went through and updated the Google Doc where I've been storing all the weapons and war gear with all the weapons and war gear that are in this book. It works a lot like the Militia did before, where you've got a character that kind of takes the, I don't know what is going on with my screen right now. It's not, there it goes. Where you can take your musters of war. You get to select 2 of these lists, and there's like 4 pages of different musters. There's a bunch of really cool combinations, like making you strike faster when you charge, and taking a lot of Ogrins. I've seen a lot of people online talking about wanting to steal these detachments for other armies, and it says right here that you can't do that. These are only for taking militia armies. But what's really weird is they have this one all the way down here at the bottom that says, heavy assault slots in this detachment may only be selected from Ruin Storm Demon elite units.
Interesting.
Wasn't
So
there
we don't
another
know-
one like that was for the Word Bearers? I think that had a demon slot too.
Yep.
On their
Nope. It's
specific.
a generic one for the esoterist. It lets you take
That's what
up
it
to
was.
3 squads of demon brutes, and we don't currently have demon brute rules.
Okay, so this is just obviously padding for the future. I just thought it was neat. We'll have to cover this another time. Let's just say that everything, honestly, most of the things I was hoping for to come in this list are in here. You've got all of the Cadian special and heavy weapons, and you have all of the Krieg special and heavy weapons. So you've got the big, sorry, I have my glasses on. The large guns that come on the Cadian 100mm bases, those are in there. And then the 130mm based Deathcore Krieg super guns are in here as well. So the ability for all those guns, as well as all the other additional ways of building the army, can be taken here. You could take a whole mounted force. You could take a whole Ogren force. You can take plague-infested rat men with 2 knives and a rusty shiv. There is everything in here you want to build.
Did I hear right that people were talking about maybe even squats in that army too?
Yep.
Oh yeah, they brought back the squat augmented levies is one, and they're gene crafted. What was it? Kinfolk Helots is probably the one that most people are thinking for squats. It subtracts movement and adds toughness. Ogrins can take shields. They can do the shield wall rule. There is a ton of stuff in here, so it's going to take a lot to go through, including the unending horde. So you can just keep bringing people on this edge of the board after you kill them. Anything else about militia before I move on? I know a lot of people are looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to building armies with this. But still putting my feet wet in Ultramarines for 3rd edition so far.
Sounds like Zombie Horde is back on the table.
Oh yeah, I know JP was already frothing at the mouth for wanting to build his Beastmen again.
Yeah, I've seen I think him and one other person talking about doing them, so I'm all for it.
Oh, I need the shirt on the left.
Yeah, GW released a new line of kids clothing. So we've got a bunch of onesies and small child size shirts.
I'm getting one of those for Baylor.
I think we can all support you in doing that, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not sure my wife would, but
Well, you know, what she doesn't know won't hurt her, but it might hurt you.
It will definitely hurt him.
Yeah.
They also released a new line of what they're calling battle worn shirts. So these are just one comically large print on a t-shirt. Kind of interesting designs. This is just all the Army logos as a very large print on a shirt. Kind of white, distressed look to them. Starforge had a couple releases. The first one is a set of different, excuse me. The first one is a set of patches that are coming out. So this is the Ultramarine set. There's 4 Ultramarine patches, the old Tyranid Hunter logo, the old Ultramarines logo with the fire in the middle. You've also got Blood Angels, Dark Angel sets, Mechanicus sets, Imperial Fist set. These all dropped as one giant release. So if you're looking for where these are, it's just on the Starforge homepage. That's the Raven Guard set, and Black Templar set. And then along with these sets, if you order the full set, you get all the patches and then a commemorative medal that goes with it that looks like one of the patches. And there's just the tactical marking set with the skull. They're not terribly priced. They look to be about $13 a patch, and then $15 for the medal itself, or looks like about $40 for the sets of things, or $42 for Blood Angels because there's extras in there. So it's not terribly priced if you want to add stuff onto your game bags. What is Jack shockingly priced?
Holy
Is
shit!
their new Mechanicus ring. For $252, you get a Mechanicus Cypher ring.
Hold
What's a
on,
Cypher?
there's got to be a higher tier of that too, isn't it? It's like $1,000, right?
That's ridiculous.
No, it's just this.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a silver ring with a little slidey cog on the top that you can switch to a 0 or a 1. That is literally it.
I got a little slidey cog for you.
Is that how the
Um,
Mechanicus use sign language? They just flick their ring back and forth?
Yes.
couple
Really
hundred million
fast.
times a second. Yeah, I guess. I don't. It's neat looking, but it doesn't do anything for me. I've got the rings I want. Since it is Labor Day, there's a couple of stores that are doing some decent sales right now. So Fallout Hobbies is doing another big sale right now, 50% off all stencils or STLs, 35 off stencils, and 15 off decals. This ends on the 2nd at midnight Eastern.
Of course. Or after I just ordered stuff before it went on sale.
Yeah, they just finished up a sale. Now they're doing it again.
Yep.
And then Anvil is doing a sale until 11:59 London on the 7th of September, 30% off all their cast resin stuff. So I know I'm going to have to be ordering some stuff for my Cobras that I might be working on for the militia projects. Apart from some of the stuff I'm going to start getting printed because it's the things I want to add are silly. But yeah, that's really it. There's not a ton going on right now. The militia thing dropped, so a lot of people are just mulling that over. That's really all the news we've got, gentlemen.
Okay.
What?
2 more months and we'll get my Demons of the Runestorm list.
Is it how long we're waiting for the demons? Is it 2 months?
Was it September or October?
I thought it was
So the
October or
roadmap-
November.
The roadmap says September is Demons of the Ruinstorm as well as inductee rules.
Yeah, and then
October is-
October was boarding or not boarding action, DZ or ZM.
No, October is Black Shields and Shattered Legions. And then November is Zone Mortalis.
Okay.
We gotta wait all the way till November for ZM rules.
I'm literally trying to find the roadmap because, yeah,
I
there
have
we
it
go.
open right here.
I see that you do. I have it as well now. Okay. Where in there does it say that I'm going to get my new plastic breachers and plastic fell blade and plastic Mark II assault marines? Because that's what I really need. Is those
Yeah,
guys.
Do you really need
Where
a
am I
plastic
gonna be a-
felt blade? Like, do you really?
Well,
Or
you know,
that's a Christmas release, Duncan.
I
Where's
might
the
not
Saturday
need it,
book?
but I sure as shit want it. I mean,
Yeah, I don't see the Saturnine book that they had already previewed.
Yeah, I would like that more.
I just need the plastic breachers because I have armies that want them. But that's just me.
I decaled up 20 breachers already, and I look forward to adding more, especially the veteran ones as well as some of the other ones coming out.
I vote plastic fell blade or we riot.
I'm
mean,
going November. How about that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be closer to Christmas so they can pad their year end.
Yep. Well, they always
Well-
do a bunch of stuff in November, and then it's like army boxes in December.
When
Yeah,
is that?
I could see,
When is
I
that
could see-
one of those one army boxes that GW has told us about it coming out? Do we know that yet?
Didn't say that either.
Haven't said that either. Yeah. So
Okay.
those very well could be December because everybody complains that there's never a Horus Heresy release. It's always Age of Sigmar and 40K.
Yeah.
And there
We
might
said
be
that, but we got the Mechanicum and the Solar Rocks early boxes in November-ish, I thought. So I remember I got the double night box in
I thought Solar Ox was right before Adepticon. It was like February.
maybe. I thought it was closer to Christmas. 'Cause I remember seeing it when I bought the night box on sale. And that was at Lucas's event, which is usually about this time. It was last week.
I thought it was closer to Adepticon, but you may be right.
Well, do we
They're
want to go
adding
ahead
that
and start talking about Knights, or do we want to have Avash tell us about Nova, since he's sitting right there?
Let's do a Vash talking about Nova because I need a little voice break for a second.
Sounds good. Avash, you recently went to Nova, which was
This weekend.
yesterday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So today ended today.
Yes.
At time of recording. Tell us about your Nova experience, Avash.
I mean, besides flying myself to Baltimore at first, and then taking a train ride down, I know, but I flew out of Ronald Reagan somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, for wonderful food scene, by the way, I will say that.
Okay.
And I took one class by Dan Osborne on. Let me pull up the email for it. I believe it was OSL shading.
Okay.
So that was a pretty fun class.
All right. What else did you do?
Besides that, I walked around, took a lot of pictures of all the different tables. Just standard con stuff. It's my first one that going to, so I figured I'd just explore.
Your first Nova going to, or your first con going to?
First Nova.
Okay. Well, did you go hang out in the Heresy area?
Yes, I did.
And how did that go for you? Did you play any games?
I did not play any games as I did not bring any models with me because I was just wanting to explore a little bit
Okay.
and see the con before I actually do something kind of like what I did with my first Adepticon.
Okay.
Took
So
one or
what
two
was your
classes.
overall impression?
It was fun. I don't know if I would call it a every year venture, but maybe every other year.
Okay. Well, tell us about the Heresy stuff that you saw. And tell us about everything. Hell, tell us what you saw, what you experienced, what you liked, what you disliked.
Well, I'm gonna start off with food because everyone loves food, right?
Sure.
So, despite the hotel being $25 for a burger,
Ooh.
that was one of the best damn burgers I ever had.
All right.
And then we went to a few places. One of them was called Lucky Buns, which was also another burger dive bar. And just that's where the two memorable things for food wise.
All right.
But I was told by Ben that there was a French place I need to go to next year, or the next time I come out there. So
Okay.
And Ben's the guy. He organizes the Heresy side, right? Not the.
Yes.
He's doing the whole con or just Heresy?
just the
Heresy.
Heresy. He also runs the Richmond event and like 2 other events throughout the East Coast.
Okay. So what'd you see in the Heresy area? What stood out? What was going on? Talk to us, Bubba.
In the Heresy area, I didn't really look all too in depth, but a lot of good looking armies. Now I would say tables were good. Maybe a little bit more variation. It's just looking at taking the pirates and how all their tables are organized, and then looking at theirs. Not saying it's bad, it's just different.
Okay.
Friday night they had their Zone Mortalis Blam, just normal Blam, and then Titan Death. Which that was an interesting to see how that all went. Ooh, sorry, hold on. Ooh. From all of their stuff. So Zone Mortalis Blam was like up in the space station. So certain things happen, it can affect the other 2 games. Kind of like most other large scale games. At one point, we saw him treated a little bit and everyone had to take a willpower save. Just a little fun tidbit there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry not being more descriptive.
No, I mean it's fine. But overall, you had fun. You enjoyed it.
Oh yes.
Okay, good enough for me. John,
Okay.
are you ready to talk about Knights?
Yep.
Take it away, bro.
I got a couple of flash flood warnings, so if I drop, you'll know why.
Okay.
So the first thing to know about Knights, when you're building an army, you're not going to be using most of the main rulebook. Most people are used to Crusade pattern and all that other stuff. Knights are completely different. When you start, you have to pick how your household is aligned. There's Imperial, Mechanicum, and Freeblade alignments. Each one of these alignments is going to unlock which, I don't want to call them Apex detachments because Knight don't have Apex detachments, but they have a detachment that allows you to take either extra Imperial allies. It's basically the allies. You either get Imperial allies or detachments are Imperial allies, Armigers, or Mechanicum allies. So if you're Imperial aligned, you get access to an extra Imperial allied attachment, as well as removing the zero restriction for the Lord Scion house rank. Every knight is a prime unit, and we'll get into what that means to them in just a bit before we get into the knights themselves, because I want to talk about what ranks or what prime or what vows and prime advantages work best with what's knights, and we go over them. Vows are another thing. Every knight at the beginning of the game can select a vow. A vow is a limited trigger in the battlefield. So whenever you do a thing, if that knight was the first to have done the thing, you get extra victory points. One of them could be Vanguard trigger. So if you're the first one that triggers a Vanguard, you get an extra 2 points as one of them. This is on top of whatever Vanguard X you already have. Another one is killing a unit or killing the main warlord or stuff like that. So the Imperial House gets an extra +2 to the vow of Dominion. They each house gets their own vows and then a special reaction. So the Imperial one allows the knight to make an extra repair roll as part of a reaction. So it costs 1 point. And then at the end of the repair step, you make an additional repair roll for this knight. For the Mechanicum house, you obviously get the extra Mechanicum detachment. You can select 0 to 1 extra or 0 to 1 preceptors, or you're not subject to the 0 to 1 preceptor household rank. And then you get the vow of obeisance. The first time in a battle, a friendly unit with this vow is within 12 inches of model, scores an objective. That objective is modified by +2. So if he's the first one to score an objective, he gets a +2 to his victory points.
Okay,
Their reaction. Yeah, and vows are bookkeeping extraordinaire because you have to figure out, you're almost going to have to write them down who's got what before the game starts, and then kind of go with it as the game goes and pick up tokens as they kind of get exempted
Especially
out of their vow.
especially with just the different ranks too.
Yeah. The advanced reaction for the Mechanicum is Rad Purge. So in combat, you hit everything you're engaged with Strength 2, AP 5, Damage 1, Phage 2 or Phage T, and Poison 2+.
Basically, the Mechanicum Knights have shitty reactors, and they just leak. That's what basically the description is for them.
Yeah,
which
so
is
you can choose to
hilarious.
purge your reactor. And then the
You would think they would have
Fellblazer-
the best. You would think they'd have the best ones, but no.
I mean, Mechanicum was always like ridden at that very edge of everything, so it kind of makes sense.
The Freeblade Knights are a
This-
little different. They get access to extra armigers, but they get the Vow of Belligerence. So this is if a model with the Custodes vow is part of the first combat in a battle, you gain 2 victory points. So just take this on a knight, make sure they're in a combat, you get 2 points.
Okay.
Their advanced reaction is absolutely hilarious, though.
Yeah, their advanced reaction is Valorous End. This reaction allows the player to automatically apply the effects of Explodes X to the knight.
So, like, if it goes down as a casualty and doesn't explode, you can apply this and you can make it explode.
Okay, so you can just use that and then detonate and kill your knight for no reason?
Well, you're
For 1
taking
point, yeah, you assume that it's you can kill it whenever you want, but you're probably only going to do that when it's only on 1 whole point or something else, or it's about to die, or if it's really advantageous to detonate right now.
Okay, that's
I can tell
It's
you in
like-
many night-on-night games where we've had chain reactions of knights popping off onto other knights, it would have been easier just to pop it early, so it wouldn't have affected so many of my other forces.
right, and and especially with the armigers that this one that alignment can take. You know, those are a little softer than the big boys. So
Yeah, the armigers are war engines, just like dreadnoughts are. When you start a knight army, you come into it with a primary detachment of 4 Lords of War, each a prime slot, and then you get additional detachments, obviously based on what you want to take. The armiger talent is 4 armigers. You can also take a support banner, which is 2 Lords of War. There's the Automata Talon, which is the one that you get more of if you're a Mechanicum house aligned. It has an elite, a support, a recon, and a fast. And those can only be taken from the Mechanicum. And then the Yeomanry Messenry, which is the Imperial aligned one, can be taken from Solar Ox. It is 2 troops, an elite, a recon, and 2 heavy transports. So obviously you're putting stuff in Dracosans to keep up with your knights streaming up the battlefield. Now, when you look
Okay.
at the ranks themselves, these are the prime advantages you're going to be selecting. Most of these are 0 to 1, but you lose that 0 to 1 caveat depending on which house you're aligned with. The Seneschal, none of these ranks cost points anymore. Let me say that up front. Okay, these used to cost points or be negative points in the case of the aspirant. None of these cost points anymore. The Seneschal is whenever he takes a penetrating hit, the damage is modified by -1 to a minimum of 1. Additionally, it counts as being a high command choice for the purposes of Slay the Warlord. So he's a survivor. Lord Scion, all models in this unit
That's
can
the
have two
repair.
repair tests.
Yeah.
For statuses rather than just one, which is really handy for knights because, again, it's like a vehicle. If you're a statist, it's going to be hurting you. You're not going to be doing what you want to be doing. Knights don't have a lot of the survivability that normal knights do, or normal knights had last edition or even the edition before. The next 01 is the Arbalester. This one, if they move no more than half their movement characteristics, they still count as stationary for heavy and ordnance special weapons. So stick that on your Porphyrin or your Astraeus.
Yeah, Astraeus.
That doesn't sound good at all, but yeah.
And then there's the Aspirant. This model gains Expendable 1 and has their auto repair negative adjusted by -1.
That's the Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, that used to be negative 35 points. You got lower weapon skill and ballistic skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's the Arc Teller, another 01. He gains precision 5 up on any melee attacks. And he may not have any vows other than vow of execution. And we'll get to vows in a bit again. And then there's Dolores.
Dolores, yeah.
Gains Fear 2 special rule. So you're radiating -2 to checks. And he can only have the vow of slaying. There's the Scion Implacable. I swear I can read. He gains Firestorm, which means he overwatches it, or he shoots at full ballistic skill.
Okay.
Now, most knight weapons aren't defensive, so this really doesn't work on anything but really one decent knight, and that's the Castigator, which ironically they have a picture of right below this thing.
Yep.
He can only have the vow of resolve. There's only 3 more prime things, so we're almost done. There's the Scion Marshal. Does not modify the profile of any models. The Scion Marshal also prime rank advantage does not modify the profile of any models for units which. Oh, okay, sorry. These are other sub ranks. There's the Preceptor, which is 0-1. He gains Battlesmith 2, so he can help people repair, and is considered to have intelligence check or intelligence characteristic 8 when making checks for Battlesmith. So that means he can repair 2 hull points or statuses. And then there's the Ulhan. He gains Fast 2 and Impact A special rules.
Okay, so on the charge, he gets a bonus attack.
Yep.
Okay.
And he has to take the vow of alacrity if he takes it.
It's like each one of these is it's very obvious that it goes with a specific type of knight as well.
Yeah. Now, knights are basically vehicles, except they get a bunch of extra special rules. This week, I was kind of talking with some of the guys locally. Knights lost a lot of the things that we kind of assumed that they would have going into this edition. If you fight a knight in combat, just because it has weapon skill doesn't mean you're not fighting the front armor. There's nothing in here that says you hit the knight on the front armor in combat.
Yeah, I think you and I were having a conversation about that, and I was talking to people in the Discord about that last night. We were all trying to find out if anywhere anything said that you fought and hit the front armor, and we couldn't find anywhere that said it in close combat.
Yeah. Knights can rush. Knights ignore terrain. They're moving. They can't stop impassable.
You can shoot through them, correct, too?
Correct. They are completely invisible. You can draw a line of sight through them and see through them to shoot. except for the big boys, the for Byron and the Mysterious.
Yeah, Mysterious.
Both of those have special rules that say they block line of sight. So
Okay.
Knights do not block line of sight. Knights only have two technical targeting arcs, a front and a rear. You draw a 180-degree line down the center of the base, and that's how your knight is front, and then that's obviously the other is the rear. If the weapons are dorsally mounted, they have a 360-degree fire arc, but can't attack anything that is closer than 8 inches. That's an improvement before. I think it was like 18. It was very hard to get to shoot things pretty close with an old knight.
Okay.
Any defensive weapons that a knight has are considered to have the assault trait. So this includes their little
rad
I call it the
cleanser.
nipple gun. Yeah, the rad gun or the stubber, the little side mounted guns that are on there. That's pretty much all they can shoot at when they're charged. The only other defensive weapon is the castigator bolt cannon.
Isn't there a heavy bolt or two on the flame?
Yeah, there's a couple
random
coaxial
stuff.
weapons. Yeah, but there's no big guns that are defensive.
Big gun, right?
Um,
lightning cannon?
No, it's strike 7.
Okay.
If a knight fails its charge, step 5 of the charge sub phase, the knight player immediately rolls a single dice. Immediately rolls a single dice with the target number equal to the highest value of X in any instance of auto repair X special rule on a model charging unit. If the roll succeeds, there is no further effect. But if the roll fails, the knight gains the stunned tactical status. So if you are going to charge, make sure you make it into combat, or you will probably be stunning yourself if you can't make a repair roll. This isn't saying that you can't charge if you have a status, but if you will be getting statuses if you fail to charge. And finally, knights can either consolidate or gun down, in addition to the hold aftermath options, although restrictions apply when those are selected.
Okay.
Duncan, you're looking confused.
No, I'm just trying to process everything at the same time. I understand where we're going so far. It's just, since I don't have a book in front of me, I'm just trying to process. Sorry. Carry on.
All right. We're going to jump to the vows now. This is calculated at step 7 of the mission scoring sequence. So each of these vows, you check at the end of the phase to see if this happened and if they were the one that did it. The vow of execution, if they are the first model that causes the last model in an enemy unit to kill a high command, the amount of victory points they would normally score for Slay the Warlord is increased by 2. So they are only character hunting. The vow of slaying, if they cause a Lord of War or Warlord force organization slot to be removed as a casualty, then they gain Giant Killer X is increased by 2.
Okay.
Vow of Resolve. This one is last man standing goes up by 2. So if they're alive at the end of the game, you get an additional 2 points.
That's a good one to have.
Yeah, especially on something that's going to be in the backfield lobbing shots and not up in combat getting its.
Yeah.
Vow of Alacrity. This one says, if you cause an enemy unit to fall back off of the battlefield, then the amount of victory points you gain for first strike X is considered to be increased by, unit to be removed as a casualty or caused to fall off the battlefield. Your first strike X is increased by 2. This has to be on the first turn. So this guy has to kill someone, has to be the last person to kill something in that unit on the first turn to gain this bonus. Those are the only 4 vows.
Okay.
Stomps have pretty much been removed from their basic attacks. It is now an advanced reaction. During step 2 of the move subphase, if an enemy unit entirely composed of models with the infantry, cavalry, or automata type ends of movement within 8 inches and line of sight of this unit, you can place 3-inch blast marker in base contact with a single model from the reacting unit. And they are resolved using strength equal to the base hull point characteristics of the model, AP 3, damage 2. So if someone moves near you, you just stomp them. Cost 1 point. Rotate ion shields. If someone shoots you for this attack, you gain +1 to your ion shields invulnerable set, but a -1 against all subsequent shooting attacks that turn. And the most interesting one is Joust. If Duncan declares a charge against one of my knights, I can in return, if he declares a charge within 12 inches of one of my models, I can in turn charge with another model.
So it's kind of like you have a chance to countercharge before I charge then.
Yep.
Okay, which one takes place first? Do I get my charge off and then you charge in? Or does your charge, you're doing that, interrupt my charge?
It is done at the end of step 3.
So that it interrupts my charge.
Yep.
And you can only charge the unit that declared the charge?
Yes.
Okay.
So it sounds like this would happen after the charging unit of Duncan's would do its step-up move, but before volley firing.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty neat. That's definitely going to screw with people charging.
The downside is you only get to make a charge roll as the knight. Not
so you
You'll
don't
only
get to
ever
do the
make-
step up itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now let's go
All right.
back to the units themselves.
Yes,
The
please.
first
I think
thing
that's
is this-
the part where everyone's going to be focusing on.
So now that you kind of understood how you build knights, you start off with the availability of 4 basic knights, and then through that you can select other detachments and things like that. The armatures are broken down like they were in 2.0. You've got the Helverin and the Warglaive. Each one comes in at 150 points. They're both weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength, toughness, wounds 7, initiative 4, and 2 attacks. On the Warglaive, which is the double autocannon one, the Helverin is the double autocannon one. It has 2 attacks. The Warglaive, which is the one with the meltdown and the chainsaw, has 3 attacks. Both have leadership and cool 10, willpower, and intelligence 5. And they have 3 up, 6 up. They are bulky 8. I don't know what you'd be putting these in. And they
What about
both-
the? Well, yeah, there's nothing mechanical that would be that big, or
Yeah, the only thing you could probably put them in is the drill, and that's the only thing I wouldn't want to see.
yeah,
them
that
come
would
out of it.
that actually could be kind of interesting. Them popping out of the drill and the big drill.
Yeah, they have implacable advance, move through cover, and outflank. So if you want to start pulling these on from the edge of the board, you can. They come stock with each one comes stock with a heavy stubber, and they can upgrade it to a melta gun for 10 points. Otherwise, they have their 2 phaeton cannons on the Helverin or a melta lance or a thermal lance and a heavy stubber on the
From the chain blade.
other one. Yeah. Um,
And
pulling
then
up my stat thing right now to pull that up. I'll wait for Google to figure out what two-factor authentication means when you have an app open.
So then there's another armature after that.
yep, there's the
Moirax?
it used to be a mechanical Forge World more aligned.
Yeah, the Moirax was the old Mechanicum version. It is a little better, actually a little worse in the movement. It only has movement 8, where the others had movement 10.
But it's heavy. It's kind of heavier armor, I guess you would
Yeah,
say.
it has a 3-up, 5-up involved, where the others had a 3-up, 6-up. It comes default with a rad furnace, and it has to buy one of the following weapons. So it can choose 2 from the list of Siege Claw and Irad Cleanser, ToKnight Belgulaire, which is a French word and I don't know it, Lightning Lock, a Graviton Pulsar, or a Morax Conversion Beamer.
No conversion beamers, so okay.
They can buy
Yep.
2 conversion beamers for 40 points
For
on
40
top of its
points.
165 base. Or it can buy a pair of Gaiji Siege Claws with 2 Irad Cleansers.
What's the stats on the Irad cleanser?
Hold on a second.
The Irad Cleanser.
Guys, for the listeners out there, I know we're pausing a lot, but we're literally doing that as we're going through the book itself.
Irad Cleanser's template, FP1, RS2, AP5, D1, template, Panic 1, Phage T, Poison 2+, Rad.
Yep.
Oof. That's hefty.
I'll just keep the
I finally got it open. Yeah, so the
Hey,
Phaeton autocannon. As a reminder, you have 2 of these. They're firepower 30-inch range, firepower 3, strength 7, AP 3, damage 2. Ordnance R, so if they stand still, they're 60-inch range, and they're breaching 5-up. And you get 2 of those for 150 points.
165.
No,
for the
150 for the
Helverin.
Helverin.
Oh, the Helverin, sorry.
Yeah. No, we backed up for a second. So this is on the Helverin, the double autocannon one. So you get extra range sitting still for 150 points with damage 2, AP 3, strength, whatever.
Breaching 5-up. Strength 7, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Warglave's Thermal Lance, going back a little bit, 24-inch range, firepower 1, strength 9, AP 2, damage 4, heavy range strength, and Melta 12. So you're looking at strength 10 if you don't move if you're within 24 inches of this thing.
Oof. Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Imagine that outflanking.
Yeah, no, I don't want to at all.
Okay, those are all the archers. I do like the fact that we can finally take the Morax in lists now. I don't know why it was excluded in 2.0. It explodes on a 5-up, whereas the other exploded on a 6 as well.
It's the leaky reactor.
Yep. So now we're going to go on to the big boys. We start with the Questoris.
Did we ever say what the Irad cleansers did?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the other things are the Volkite Veriglail is probably the only other weird one, as well as the conversion beamer.
The Veriglail is 30-inch range, FP5, RS7, AP5, D1, heavy FP, and Deflagrate 7. And the Irad Cleanser, if you want me to go again, it's template, FP1, RS2, AP5, D1, template, Panic 1, Phage T, and Poisoned 2+.
Okay.
And a Moirac conversion beamer. Less than 15, strength 6, AP 4, damage 1, heavy range strength, blast 3, suppressive 1. 15 to 30, it goes up to strength 7, down to AP 3. And 30 to 45, it goes up to strength 8, AP 2. And each one of these goes up in damage every step of the process. So if you're at the farthest range, you're at strength 8, AP 2, damage 3, heavy range strength, so it's actually strength 9 if you don't move, 3-inch blast, suppressive 1. So if you take 2 of those, sit him in a corner, he's a beast. But 45 inches isn't that big.
Well, just think about the heavy conversion beamers on the Australis.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I was real happy when I read that. You get 2 of those. So the Questoris, he starts off at 400 points, and you have to buy weapons. You can buy the chainsword for free, the Thunderstrike Gauntlet for 10. We want to go through these.
So the Questoris is a basic knight for
it's
people.
the basic knight that everyone's used to.
Yep.
The Chainblade is basis tracks, strength modifier of +1, so he's swinging at strength 9. AP 2, damage 2, reaping blow 2, and shred 5 up. Second, I have an issue with mine.
So this is the Questoris, right? The 400 point guy?
Correct.
Yeah.
This is base
So
400.
the cheap weapons are the Thunderstrike and the chainsword is free. The Thunderstrike Gauntlet is 10 points.
Okay.
That's the fist.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
-1
attack. So you got these guys are attacks 4 base, move 12, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 8, front 13, rear 11, initiative 4, 4 attacks, and 10 hull points now. The Thunderstrike Gauntlet. Yeah, go ahead.
So you could build these with double Reaper chainswords. No clue if they're good or not.
Yep.
Or looking, that would be cool looking.
Yeah, you won't get any bonuses like other. Yeah, you won't get any bonuses like you will with other double close combat weapons. That's the downside.
But that'd be a hell of a modeling opportunity.
Yeah, it would look great.
Yeah, the Thunderstrike Gauntlet would probably give you a better choice because then you could choose to swing with that. It's -2 initiative, -1 attack, +3 strength. You're swinging at strength 11. AP 2, 4 damage, critical hit 6 up. It has impact strength and shock suppressed. So it's causing suppression and it's charging in on strength 12 with the fist. The other weapons you can choose. Go ahead.
It's suppressive what?
Shock suppressed.
Okay.
The other weapons you can take are that last impulsor we saw in Canis Rex. It is strength or range 8, firepower 1, range strength 9, AP 2, damage 4, ordnance D, so it goes up to damage 8 if it doesn't move, and it's armor bank.
Okay. I don't think we really need to dig into each of the weapons individually. Just kind of going through all of them is going to literally burn between pauses and everything else. It's going to take forever.
The other things it can take, so it can choose 2 of any of these. You can also take a rapid fire battle cannon that has a coaxial heavy stubber for 5 points. It can take an Avenger Gatling cannon with a coaxial heavy flamer, or it can take a thermal cannon for 20 points.
So in my book, with the Avenger Gatling cannon, it's got to be a typo. It says an Avenger Gatling cannon and a coax Avenger Gatling cannon.
Wait, hold on. So your book says that it's got a front mounted.
If you look above, so what it does is it's saying it has a look at the rapid fire battle cannon. It says hull front mounted rapid fire battle cannon and one coaxial open parentheses rapid fire battle cannon mounted heavy stubber. So it's just saying that second weapon
is mounted on the
Avenger
first.
Yes, it's just an annoying way of saying it. So the Avenger Gatling cannon has a coaxial heavy flamer.
Okay. All right, so that makes sense.
There to give it a decent defensive weapon. And the last weapon is a thermal cannon. It's a big melter gun.
With nothing coaxial mounted.
Then you also have the carapace or whatever you call it.
Yeah, well, it can also upgrade its little nipple heavy stubber to either be a multi-laser or a melta-gun. The multi-laser, I don't think was there in 2.0. It came in late.
Yeah.
The top weapons, it can take a twin Icarus autocannon, which I think has Skyfire, so it's not that good at shooting at the ground. Or an Ion Storm missile pod or a Storm Spear missile pod. I had all these set up so I could actually just read them quickly. There it goes. The Storm Spear, firepower 3, strength 7, AP 3, damage 1, versus the other one, firepower 2, strength 5, AP 4, damage 1, ordnance D, blast 5. So it's basically frag and crack missiles if you want to take it that way. You either get 2 5-inch blasts. Or am I looking at the? Yeah, you either get 2 5-inch blasts, or you get some crack missiles. That's your basic plastic knight for 400 points. Max you're going to spend on this guy is 460 or 470 if you take the melta gun. Because you don't have to charge what you shoot anymore, you can actually take some of these better upgrade weapons if you want to. I don't think I would take the melta gun in the chest just because you're not going to get close enough to shoot it, usually. The next option is the Knight Megara. This is one of the first Forge World ones with the lightning cannon, the phased plasma fusel, an IRAD Scourger, a Hecaton Siege Claw. It's movement 10, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 8. Armor is 13, 11. Initiative 3, 4 attacks, and 10 hull points. I did say before, the basic knight has auto repair of 5 up and explodes on a 6 up. And Vanguard 2, while this guy has auto repair 4 up, explodes on a 5 up Vanguard 2.
So it's easier to repair, but it blows up a lot easier.
Yeah, and it's also got a better front armor.
Yeah.
Or no, it's got the same front armor. Yeah. But it's knights, most knights seem to have Vanguard on them. So they're pretty much about trying to drive people off of objectives. Remember that when you come to your vows and you have to try not to drive people off objectives until you want to score that extra points with the guy that has the Vanguard vow. The other big Forge World Knight is the Knight Styrax. This one's movement, or this one's 455, whereas the Megara was 460. It's movement 10, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 8, armor 13, rear 11, initiative 3, 4 attacks, and 10 hull points. It's exactly the same stats as the guy previous. He has a Volkite Chariot Vial, another French word, a torso-mounted graviton gun, a Hecaton Siege Claw with an IRAD Scourger. The Scourger is a better version of the Cleanser.
And it's got the same auto repair numbers and explode stuff too, as well.
Yep. The Scourger strength 5 or template, 1 shot, strength 5, AP 4, damage 2, panic 1, phage T, poison 2 up, breaching 6 up. Then there's the Castigator. This is the plastic knight with the Cerastus chassis, so he's a little taller. The taller knights get movement 14 as a base, weapon skill and ballistic skill 4, strength 9, same armor 13, 11, initiative 4, attacks 4, and all the Cerastus chassis have 12 hull points.
And this is the one that has the big bolt cannon
Sword
on
and
on the arm.
Yeah, sword and bolt cannon, yeah.
Yeah.
So it has a twin castigator bolt cannon. This is the one I would probably give the defensive prime advantage to. So he gets firestorm. So he gets to shoot this at full ballistic skill since it is a defensive weapon. It is 36-inch range, 10 shots, strength 6, AP 3, damage 1. If he doesn't move, though, it's ordnance D and suppressive 2, so it becomes damage 2, suppressive 2.
Yeah, this one does not like infantry does not like this one.
Yeah. He was pretty good before when he had a special ability where he'd give up his attacks to
Sweep.
That's gone, but he now has Reaping Blow 6 on his sword that uses his base attacks, base strength, AP 2, damage 2, and a flame 2.
Honestly, it's a trade up.
Yeah, it's a hell of a trade up. He also auto repairs on a 5-up and explodes on a 6-up. The Acheron, which is the one with the big flamethrower,
And the chain fist from hell.
and the chain fist.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Acheron and furnace cannon, template, strength 7, AP 4, damage 1, template Hellstorm, which is that big template,
Big template.
heavy
yeah.
AP, so it becomes AP 3 if he doesn't move. Shred 5-up, panic 2. He explodes on a 4-up because of the gas cans. And again, he's movement 14, so he is booking it up the table. I would
Yeah, he's
probably give
more-
him
he's-
that one where if he doesn't move, he counts as staying stationary for heavy and ordnance. Or if he moves half, he counts as being stationary. So that way, if he just moves 7, he's still shooting AP 3 Hellstorm templates.
He's 500. He's a little more expensive than the Castigator.
The final plastic knight is the Lancer at 480. Same stats across the board. Movement 14, front 13, rear 11, 12 hull points. He has a shock lance which can shoot and in melee.
It's
The
always been
gauntlet
able to
shoot-
do it. It's just been
Yeah.
very short range. It's like 6 to 8 inches previous or something like that.
Yeah, he's also got his shield, which gives him a 5-up in melee. And he can also take it against glances and pins. So most vehicle saves can only be taken against pins. He can take it against glances and pins. And the base ion shield that all these knights come with is a 5-up invul save to the front, a 6-up to the rear against shooting attacks that can be taken against lances and pins. He auto repairs on a 5-up and explodes on a 6-up since he doesn't have anything exposed really.
He'd be the good one to run up and knock stuff
Yeah.
off of.
Yeah, that
Oh.
that where you also get the free move or get the charge off as well.
Yep.
I honestly think for once he's not the worst model in Heresy again. I used to joke that he was probably the worst
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
in the game. It still sucks he's rear 11 in combat, but 12 hull points, initiative 4, 4 attacks. It's not as bad as he used to be. The last Cerastus chassis is the Atropos. This is the up-armored guy with the 600 points for a Graviton Singularity Cannon, an Atropos Phase Cutter. He auto repairs on a 4-up, explodes on a 5-up, Vanguard 2 as well. Same stats as everybody else as we've seen before. The Singularity Cannon is 36-inch range, 1 shot, strength 9, AP 2, damage 8, 5-inch blast, heavy D, so it's damage 9 if he doesn't move, Armor Bane, critical hit 6 up, overload 1.
Hurt himself with it.
This used to be the void grenade shooter. That's what that used to be.
Yeah, in 1.0,
Yeah.
it would shoot a void grenade that would wander around the table. In 2.0, it just makes a black hole that doesn't move. In 3.0, he could shoot himself in the foot.
It
That
fits.
was no grenade.
The phase cutter can be used in combat or shooting. If it shoots, it's only range 12. One shot, strength 10, AP 2, damage 6, ordnance D, armor bane. So it goes up to damage 12 if he doesn't move.
Yeah, that used to be really short range as well. Previous editions, it was like weird number that was like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah, it's also not a 0-1 choice anymore. So you can take multiple atroposes.
Expensive, he's expensive. So
finally, we're going to go on to the Acastus chassis. These are the big boys. These are the ones
Big
that do
boys.
not block line of sight because they have the Colossus special rule.
no, they do block line of sight.
I'm sorry, yeah, they do block line of sight. The Porphyrin comes in at 725 points.
Jesus.
Both of these chassis have the same stats at 10 movement, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 4, strength 10, front 14, rear 11, initiative 2, 3 attacks, and 18 hull points.
This is the Doom Egg, the one that had the Abomination last cannon in the second.
Yeah, the quad las.
Yeah. How bad did it do us this year?
The new gun is called a neutron wave battery. 120 inch range, firepower 4, strength 12, AP 2, damage 4, ordnance D, armor bane, shock, stunned.
So no more templates.
No more templates, just 4 shots. And if he doesn't move, it's damage 8, strength 12.
And why would you move this with a 120-inch range?
Yeah,
There's no reason at all. Just put that thing on the table and let it soak
Let it
whatever it
delete
needs to
things.
soak. Yeah.
So it's still an orbital defense laser with legs. Got it.
Yep.
That's not all.
Yeah, it also comes with an Iron Storm missile battery, 72 inch range, in case you thought you could be safe from this thing. 2 shot, strength 5, AP 4, damage 1, but ordnance D, 5 inch blast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't feel safe within 120 inches of this thing, so being safe at 70, whatever, still don't feel safe. Okay.
It comes with
Duncan,
autocannon.
I know what you're saying. He comes with two 2 autocannons.
Oh,
Which you
just
can
in
upgrade.
case I got close, he can shoot me with more stuff. Cool.
Well, you can
Wonderful
upgrade
choice.
a lot of autocannons to isn't it
Blast
last
cannons.
cannon?
Yeah,
Yay.
and you can upgrade that missile battery.
Up already.
If you're worried about planes, you can upgrade the missile battery to a Hyperios missile launcher. That's
Why
the
would
same
this
thing
thing be worried about planes? It's
because it's a walking battleship, Duncan. It's obviously worried about planes. 3
Because
shot, strength
you were
7.
too cheap and didn't put a Hyperios battery on one of your normal knights.
Yeah, you didn't put an emplaced missile battery, so you brought one. 3 shot, strength 7, AP 3, damage 2, Skyfire, rapid tracking.
Can we house rule this thing so that it has like overload 4?
God, I hope so.
Well, hold on.
Please tell me
It gets
that
better.
at least if I somehow kill this thing, that it detonates on like a 2+. That would at least make me something.
It's a
And
5.
auto repairs on a 5-up. You know what's better, Duncan?
No, I
Give him
don't. I'm sure you
Rattlesmith
can tell me.
2. So he can just sit there and heal himself if he ever deign to scratch his paint.
Dear listeners, if you bring a Porphyrin, I want you to know that while I love you for listening, and I really appreciate you playing Heresy more than anything else, if you're bringing a Doom Egg onto the table, I want you to know that my army hates you. the end.
I don't even think that's the worst one. I think the next one's even worse.
Yeah. Honestly, it flipped because the Asterius used to be the redheaded stepchild of the Castus.
Mine's a
Now
little
it's
dusty,
better.
Duncan.
What was that?
Mine's a little
His is-
dusty.
The Asterius is 25 points more base at 750. It comes with the conversion beam desolator array. If you decide to be smart, you're like, I'm going to charge this. I'm going to get within 18 inches of it. You get 2 shots to the face at strength 8, AP 4, damage 2, ordnance D, 7-inch blast.
Who's naming these things?
So you're like,
It ain't
okay,
like that
I'll be,
computer that names military campaigns.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, okay, I'll stay away from it. I'll go 18 to 42 inches away. Well, then you're going to take 2, strength 9, AP 3, damage 3, still ordnance D, 7-inch blasts.
Okay. So, being me, we all know that I never stay away from an enemy. I try to get up close and personal, no matter what army. I mean,
Well, the
No.
the good thing is if you actually do get it to blow up with the 18 hull points, it explodes on the 4+.
oh, thank God.
But it also
It doesn't-
auto repairs on a 4+ as well.
So
Oh, my
we
Lord.
haven't hit the best version of the gun
Yeah.
yet.
When you decide to actually show up on the table edge.
Yeah, 42 to 72. It's only 72-inch max range, Duncan. You might be able to outrange it.
With a chain axe? You really think that's realistic?
Just throw it
shots.
really hard.
2 shots, strength 10, AP 2, damage 4, 7-inch blasts, ordnance D. So if you don't move this thing, 8 damage from each 7-inch blast. And that's not even all of its guns.
Wait. Do they also have the rule where they count as stable?
No, you can buy that as part of the vow.
Oh, okay. They don't just
So
give
you
it
buy
to
the
you.
vow.
But the
The
valves don't
vow
cost
says if you move
anything.
half your movement, 5, you count as being stationary.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that if you put either of these two things on the table,
See,
it just feels bad for your opponent.
may I interrupt that thought process for a second?
Of
Sure.
course.
Add in the new train rules.
Yeah.
3-inch, you can't see through it, they can't shoot you.
Also, you'll notice what I didn't mention in every one of these. None of these things but the Acastus chassis have independent fire. So if they split their guns, they're snap shooting. Only the big guys have independent fire.
Yeah, but they're like what? Ballistic skill 8? Because why not?
Ballistic
Yeah,
skill
that makes
4.
sense.
You're only 4.
Yeah. They're
So
still gonna
4
miss some
shots, you're going to hit an average. You're going to hit an average of 3. You're going to
Yeah,
delete 3 whatever the hell you hit. So
Okay. But don't forget, if you miss with a blast template weapon, you scatter, right? It's a 7-inch template, and you now
you're
just
pretty much
scatter 1d6. So
Yeah,
it's
you're-
like you can never not hit.
Yeah, but none of these are barrage, except for the mortar battery, which we haven't got to yet.
We're getting to that.
what?
Yeah, but barrage rules only count if you're firing it indirectly.
But they can't see through terrain, even though they're towering above the terrain to shoot
Right.
through the terrain. Are we back to the infinitely high terrain?
Yeah,
Is that where we are?
technically-
Okay.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's playing it that way, though.
They might if you start putting the Acastus chassis on the table.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to fighting a knight army at this point. My chain
Just
axe
don't-
wielding lunatics do not
Oh,
want to do this.
Wait till we get to the Titan rules. They have their own rules too.
I don't think we're
we're
going
not
to get to the
covering that
Titan
this
rules
week.
tonight.
All right,
Yeah,
so
we- So let me finish up with this last gun,
There
and
you
then we're done.
Okay.
So the Asterius also has a crack-nose mortar battery. 60-inch range, strength or firepower 1, strength 6, AP 4, damage 1, blast 3, barrage 2, so it scatters 2d6. But phage T, so you lose toughness if it hits you. Pitting 3, so you're taking pitting checks at -3 if you even take a wound, even if you save it. And poison 2 up.
That's not too bad. Honestly, that doesn't feel oppressive.
Compared to the giant conversion cannon.
Yeah,
It does not feel that impressive.
Compared to the rest of the stuff, that doesn't sound too horrifying.
Hey,
No, but-
Jack,
Yes, sir.
are you sure you can't play a game with Duncan tomorrow? Because I think you guys could make it go real quick.
It also has 2 nipple-mounted Volkite culverins if you decide to charge it. Or get
Oh, yeah. No, just throw some nipple Volkite in there just
Yeah.
to make it happy.
I don't have one of these, so I would not be able to do that. So
Thank you, Jack.
That's okay.
I
You
have
have
one on
the
my
other
wish list.
potato.
So the other thing that both of these big boys have, or no, I guess it's just the other one. So the Acastus has an ionic flare shield, which is different from an ion flare shield. We read the ion earlier. The ionic flare shield on the Asterius, Armor Bane does not work. 5 up invul to the front, 6 up invul to the rear, and can take the saves against glancing and pins. So you can't even Armor Bane the Asterius.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
What's its
It is a-
hull value?
18 hull points.
Ugh.
Boy, I wonder if I'm going
What's
to
its armor value?
1411.
Front, 11 rear.
Oh,
Sounds like
Yes.
a drop pod with multi-meltas.
I'm
And
not even
18
concerned
also.
about this now.
I hate
they
to
have
say it,
have the night firing arcs, so I can shoot them in the rear.
And all of the night guns, apart from the top guns, are front only.
Yeah.
So if you can get
never
to the
mind.
side, if you can get to 51% of the side, you're out of line of sight.
Yep. Nope. I'm cool with this. I can handle this now. I just got to get up in close combat, and then I can back. And since they all have like weapon skill 3, I'm not worried about that. And then they all have armor 11, so I can punch the armor with all my power fists that my guys don't have.
Weapon skill 4, but
Just-
yeah, same. Power
Just
fists
be
will
sure-
crunch them.
Just be sure to kill it that first round because they can walk out of combat.
Yeah, because I have 18 power fists on average per list. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because they're vehicles, they can walk out of combat. They're not.
Oh,
They're not
yeah, I
what
didn't
they
even
used.
think about that. You can't lock them in combat. Yeah, okay. I'm back to my original theory on knights. I don't like these. These sound like a bad touch place.
I don't think that they're that bad touch because they're so freakishly expensive. The
Yeah, these-
basic knight is 400 before you buy guns,
So
and the big boys are 750, 725. I think
So
they're
on-
still oppressive.
on the list the 3K list that I have a Cascadator, an Archeron, a Lancer, and a Pothos, a Porphyron, and then because I had points, a Morax, an Armiger Morax. That's it.
Yep.
At 3K. I know there's
Yeah,
a way to go in
before-
here where you could min max this, but this is what I have.
Hold on. I'm looking at a 3K list I was working on since new recruits updated and added in stuff from the legacies. So I have in a 3K World Leaders. Well, those are rhinos. They won't do anything. 2 Raiders, 2 Predators, 2 Vindicators. And that's all my guns. But then everything else is getting in close combat and saying punchy, punchy. So I
Honestly,
think it would be a difficult fight.
honestly,
Yeah.
I don't see them having a lot to deal with armor 14.
Other than those giant ass gut cracking cannons,
the
yeah.
Super guns, yes. The Porphyron and the Asterius are your. I don't like Land Raiders. I would like that section of hill to be deleted, sir. Other than that, or the Graviton Singularity Cannon, that's 3 knights out of 7. that are good at killing armor 14.
But
Most
how
of
many
the other
people
ones
do you
are-
see bring all armies of nothing but armor value 14?
I've
My
seen 3 or
outlier
4.
list aside.
I've seen 3 armor value 14s. I've seen 2 armor value 14s. I don't think a basic, as we've seen them before, Knight list is going to be able to deal with armor 14 the way it could before.
I mean, like
Melter guns don't do it anymore.
my Dark Angel, what do you call it? Iron Wing has two tanks that are armor value 14 in it.
You
Most of the
gotta
other ones-
buy those thermal lances if you're thermal cannons and thermal lances if you're going to be running Knights now.
Yep.
You can't
Or just
hope
go
for glance
punch
cadets.
up.
Yeah,
And you got to get those up close too.
yeah, they're decently fast at 10 and 14 depending on the chassis.
And they also don't not infiltrate. They what do you call it? Sorry.
The
Okay,
outflanking
so
arbiters.
it's
They
not as
outflank.
painful.
I honestly think it's the way it was before. Charge them.
Especially since Stomp is no longer a thing.
Yeah, you're only dealing with the 4 attack space.
Well, unless
What
it's a castigator.
Well, but that
Yeah, the
had
leaping flow.
yeah.
Okay.
So
But
you
his
charge
shooting isn't gonna do anything but mulch AP3. It's not AP2.
Yeah.
You have to pick your targets and know what you're going after. And as a
Yeah, I
good
think
Knight
that's a
player,
good-
you should tell your opponent, hey, this is good against that,
I think
ask questions if you have to.
I need to get a game in against Knights, just so I can have a better understanding of Knights. Because I came into this not knowing how bad they, or how good they are, or anything at all, really. So that kind of, yeah. Other than the big nasty guns on the big nasty ones, it doesn't sound as oppressive as I thought it would be.
They have
they balance them pretty well.
each one of them has their own specific task. So like they're not good at multitasking.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I guess I can
And you
follow
just
that.
You'll have to find the right if you're a Knight player, you have to find the right combination of what am I loading out to do what. Whereas
My last Knight list was fairly oppressive once I figured out how to play it,
right.
because I could take the upgrade that made ballistic skill 5 Avenger Gatling cannons that were glancing everything basically that I wanted to on the table. I could glance down a Land Raider with the 2 Avenger cannons because it was 12 shots, rending 6 up. So I would get
The Knight list
3. Go ahead.
The Knight list kind of feels like an army that would want to go second. That way you can go fast and melee things your first turn.
Yep.
If they have to come to you for objectives, odds are you're going to get the charge on them.
The majority of their points are going to be made up in Vanguard and then whatever vows they have. And remember, vows have to be scored by that guy or they lose it. Your max going to have like 4 or 5 vows in the whole army. It's not, it's bookkeeping, but it's not oppressive bookkeeping.
Then again, everything is bookkeeping at this point, so I see where that's coming.
Yeah. You're
No,
still going to have, you can still status them. They're still tanks.
It's too bad that TikTok has reduced the attention span of people to 30 seconds.
You know, I hadn't even really given that any thought because they're not immune to statuses at all.
Right.
Which drops them to initiative 1, maybe?
Yep.
And makes them snap shoot on
Yep.
other stuff. Okay. No, I'm good. This is. I think I have workable ideas on how to count. I'm not quite seeing them as quite as much of a big bad as before. So
Yeah. And you've got to take your prime ranks to be able to unlock detachments. So you may not be taking that fancy, I want to shoot more if you're taking more allies.
Okay.
I think it's oppressive. I don't think it's insanely oppressive. I think my armored breakthrough list is worse than this thing.
Okay.
The
All right.
best
I'd be
thing I like
interested to see this on the table.
the best thing I like about this new 3.0 book is the fact that I can now add. I never did buy the Majura and the Strix because I couldn't take it in a list. I can go back and buy the Majura and the Strix.
Yeah, I bought all the weapons to make mine hot swappable to any Restoris chassis. And then my Cerastus chassis are glued and the Asterius is glued. And the Acheron is glued. But I like it. I'm probably going to play with it more once I get more comfortable in 3.0. I use Marines kind of to figure out how the game plays. And then after I play with them enough to kind of get bored, then I branch off into Knights or Militia or whatever. So it'll kind of depend on how I go with this edition.
Yeah, I have a Mageria.
Well,
think-
assuming I can take 2 castigators in a single Lord of War detachment, it gives me a reason to get another castigator.
I don't really have any complaints on this at all. I thought originally that I was going to feel that that it was just going to be a whole bunch of they had answers to everything I would possibly be throwing down in a close combat army. Now it's feeling, I'm not going to say confident, but I'm going to say optimistic.
I think the rear armor 11 and hitting rear armor in combat is a definite detriment to them.
I think that's a huge benefit for armies that are going up against. Whereas
Yeah,
before, I
that's what I'm
thought the whole fighting against them and not hitting the front armor, I thought was kind of a massive penalty for them. Now with some of these guns, I can see it's definitely not as unpleasant as I thought it would be. So yeah, I like this.
The next week, are we back on to Legions?
I think so.
What ones?
It's a wonderful question. So far, we've done Dark Angels, we've done Ultramarines, we've done World Eaters, we've done Death Guard. How about we do everybody's least favorite Traitor Legion and do Word Bearers? Anyone suggestion for the Loyalist Legion?
Herd guys?
Who?
Raven Guard?
Yeah, let's do that. Raven
Raven
Guard
Guard
and
and
Word
what?
Bear.
Word bearers.
We can do that. We can do that. Anything we need to shout out before we close it out tonight, guys?
I've got my monthly event coming up on the 20th of September, I guess it's the 20th of September. And then my painting on the 28th of September at Dallas Games Marathon in Plano, Texas. And buy Play 3.0 on the 20th and learn to airbrush stuff on the 28th. We're just going to go back and forth between airbrushing and weathering unless someone wants something different. Had a couple guys thought that it'd be airbrushing this time, but we'll definitely keep it interesting if anyone wants it. Maybe Vash can get off his butt and come down.
The Bama Heresy event in October sold out. I think it's on the
Nice.
11th. So
Nice. I know the Kentucky Heresy meetup is at the Battle Forge on Saturday, September 27th in Lexington. Warzone is next week, I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
So there's
my
that for
event,
them
the
as well.
16th. Then my January event, the 16th, 17th, and 18th of January 2026.
And Adepticon is somewhere in March, at the end of March next year. So, anybody else got anything else, or are we just going to go ahead and call it here for the?
At a 3K list, you can fit in a tourist knight, by the way, just so everybody knows. Into your Lord of War slot.
Not surprised.
Well, hold on. How would that work? Because I thought, well, I guess the Knights have it's special because you've got 4 Lords of War slots to start with.
Yep.
Whew. All right then. Well, we're what episode 129 tonight?
139, sir. 139.
139. Man, we got a lot of episodes in the tank. Jack, you want to tell John to take us out of here?
Jack, do you want to tell Jamie to tell John to take us out of here?
John, do it.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the 139th episode of the Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. Been a little long talking about knights, but we don't think they're that oppressive. Tonight I've been joined by
Brian.
Duncan.
Jack.
And Jamie.
and we appreciate everyone for listening and all of our patrons for joining. Just getting closer to making Duncan paint Ultramarines. Always remember to stay accountable to your friends, to your buddies, and your hobby. And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
There you go.
Like and subscribe and see ya.